This is a story called The Little Monsters, Chapter 47, The Maths Test. The kids are all at school and Mrs. Applejack tells them that there will be a maths test in just a few days. She gives the kids extra work to do in class and extra homework to prepare them for the test. However, a boy called James Beatty found what he thought was the questions and answers. He got them copied and then sold them to the other kids in his class for £2 each. On the day of the test, all the kids thought that they were prepared. When they got their test papers, the questions were the same as the ones that they had hidden in their clothes. When they'd all finished, they were confident that they'd got all of the answers right. However, when Mrs. Applejack looked at the papers, she noticed that every one of the kids had got all of the questions wrong. The next day, she decided to give the whole class an oral test. The first person that she questioned was Kicker. Kicker, what's 9 times 9? 9 times 9 equals 99, answered Kicker. Oh, said Mrs. Applejack. Then she asked Stampy. Stampy, can you please tell me what 8 times 5 equals? 8 times 5 equals 58, said Stampy. Oh, said Mrs. Applejack. Then she said, Michael Small, please can you tell me what 8 times 8 equals? 8 times 8 equals 16, said Michael Small. Then she said to Joanne Apple, Joanne Apple, can you please tell me what 7 times 6 equals? 7 times 6 equals 76, said Joanne Apple. Then she asked Creeper, Creeper, can you please tell me what 5 times 8 equals? 5 times 8 equals 58, miss, said Creeper. Oh, said Mrs. Applejack. Then she asked Stumpy. Stumpy, can you please tell me what 10 times 5 equals? 10 times 5 equals 5, said Stumpy. Oh, said Mrs. Applejack. Then she said, right, if anyone else gives me a wrong answer, you're all going to be in trouble. Grumpy, what is 10 divided by 2? 10 divided by 2 equals 100, miss, answered Grumpy. Right, that's it. I want you all to revise your maths because there's going to be another test in 2 days' time. The next day, Michael Beatty managed to get a copy of the maths test and what he thought was the right answer sheet. He copied them and sold them to the other kids for £2 each again. The next day, when the kids did the test, they used the answers on the answer sheet that Michael Beatty had sold them. Again, the whole class were confident that they'd answered all the questions right. When Mrs. Applejack looked at their papers, she noticed that all of the kids had given the exact same answers and every single one was wrong. She decided to give them an oral test. The first person she asked to answer the question was Bumpy. Bumpy, please could you tell me what 9 plus 9 equals? 9 plus 9 equals 90, miss, answered Bumpy. Oh dear, said Mrs. Applejack. Then she asked Betty Grape a question. Betty Grape, can you please tell me what 5% of 50 is? 5% of 50 is 40, miss, answered Betty Grape. Oh dear me, said Mrs. Applejack. Then she asked Grumpy a question. Grumpy, please can you tell me what 100 minus 10 equals? 100 minus 10 equals 10, miss, answered Grumpy. Oh dearie me, said Mrs. Applejack. Then she asked a girl called Elizabeth Banana a question. Elizabeth Banana, what is 20 minus 10? 20 minus 10 equals 30, miss, answered Elizabeth Banana. Oh, give me strength, said Mrs. Applejack. Then she asked a boy called Paul Jam a question. Paul Jam, can you tell me what half of 50 is, please? Half of 50 is 5, miss, answered Paul Jam. Oh dear, said Mrs. Applejack. Then she asked a girl called Pat Swede a question. Pat Swede, can you tell me what half of 80 is? Half of 80 equals 10, miss, answered Pat Swede. Oh my lord, said Mrs. Applejack. Then she asked a boy called David Lettuce a question. David Lettuce, what is 20 plus 10? 20 plus 10 equals 50, miss, answered David Lettuce. Oh my word, said Mrs. Applejack. Then she asked a girl called Ava Sprout. Ava Sprout, can you tell me what a quarter of 20 is, please? A quarter of 20 equals 15, miss, answered Ava Sprout. Oh dear, said Mrs. Applejack. Then she asked a boy called Peter Cucumber a question. Peter Cucumber, please can you tell me what half of 100 is? Half of 100 is 80, Mrs. Applejack, answered Peter Cucumber. Then Mrs. Applejack said to the kids, there's going to be another maths test tomorrow afternoon, so you kids had all better spend the rest of the afternoon revising your maths. The next day, Michael Beatty managed to get a copy of the test paper and the answer sheet, and he copied it again. Then once again he sold it to the whole class for £2 each. When they took the test again, they all thought they'd got all of the questions right. However, when Mrs. Applejack looked at the test papers, everyone had answered the questions wrong again. She decided to give them an oral test again. She asked a boy called George Potato a question. George Potato, what is half of 50? Half of 50 is 5, miss, answered George Potato. Oh dear, said Mrs. Applejack. Then she asked Stumpy. Stumpy, what is 9 plus 3? 9 plus 3 equals 15, miss, answered Stumpy. Oh no, said Mrs. Applejack. Then she asked Grumpy a question. Grumpy, what is 6 times 10? 6 times 10 equals 10, miss, answered Grumpy. Then Mrs. Applejack asked Creeper a question. Creeper, what is 10 plus 10? 10 plus 10 equals 100, miss, answered Creeper. Right, I've had enough of you kids giving me the wrong answers. Who gave you these answers? Said Mrs. Applejack. No one answered her, so she said, someone had better answer me at once, or I'm taking you all to Mrs. Tinker. At that moment, Mrs. Tinker walked past and she heard what Mrs. Applejack said. She went in and said, what's the problem, Mrs. Applejack? The problem is I've given these kids 3 maths tests this week, and every one of them has given me the wrong answers, and the same answers, said Mrs. Applejack. Right, you kids, where did you get the answers from? Someone had better tell me, said Mrs. Tinker. Then the whole class started crying, wah, wah, wah. It's no use crying, because crying won't change anything. Now, I want to know who gave you the answers, asked Mrs. Tinker. Everyone continued crying, wah, wah, wah. Then in between tears, Grumpy said, it was Michael Beatty, Mrs. Tinker. Mrs. Tinker said, Michael Beatty, come here at once. Then she caned him really hard 10 times on his bum and told the whole class that they had to stay behind for 2 hours after school to do the test. End of chapter 47. Thanks for watching, guys. Love yous. Bye.